Hi folks, it's Neil and Wendy again from ECS Coffee, and today we're going to take you through one of our most popular brands for home brewing, and that is BREVILLE. It's 2020 everyone, and it's the big bad BREVILLE brewer lineup. Jack came up with that. We're not going to go into too much detail on each brewer, but we are going to show you everything from the entry level right up to the top of the line BREVILLE Espresso brewer. With Wendy here, I'm going to show you a couple of the different milk features, and we'll also in the description have timestamps for each of them so you can forward directly to that brewer, which may or may not have a link if we've done a separate review on that. So Wendy, let's get started on right back to the beginning. The Café Roma price point in or around, and again this is Canada, in or around the 200-ish range, but it might be higher, might be lower. Let's talk very quickly about the Café Roma.
So the great thing about the Café Roma is out of the box, it comes ready to go, even has the milk frothing pitcher, tamper and a scoop.
Tamper and scoop.
So you just turn it on, it'll say heating. When the heating light goes off, you're ready to brew. So it's just a manual pour, and you're setting the volume based on or off. It cannot be programmed. It has a nice small tank off at the back. And the great thing here about this little Panarello is that it's going to introduce the steam for you, so you don't have to have any skill set, and it will froth the milk for you. I wouldn't say it's for multiple espressos back to back because the cooling off time in between, but it'll get you a couple of espressos and cappuccinos. Just getting in that
you want an espresso machine for home, you might do one a day or a couple a day kind of thing, and you don't want to spend too much money. Great machine.
Right. Yeah, get you started for sure.
And one of the things we get asked a lot about the BREVILLE units and machines in general is, well, which one makes the best coffee? And call it coffee, call it espresso, whatever you want to say. There's so many variables to making good coffee. We get comments all the time on our YouTube videos saying, that was a lousy crema, that was great crema, that looks terrible, that looks great. And there's so many people with so many opinions, and there's so many variables to making coffee. If it tastes good, then it's good, if you like it. So we're not going to say what's great about the taste of coffee. Obviously, freshly ground is best. Good quality coffee is best, but sometimes Robusta beans blended right with the Arabicas make the best espresso. In fact, I think they always do. So
one other thing I forgot to mention, I should say, is it has an ESE pod adapter that comes with that. So because you'll need a grinder or be scooping fresh ground beans, you can also use our ESE pods that we sell.
And that's an easy serve espresso pod. It kind of looks like a tea bag. There's different types of pods for different machines in the market, but it looks like a tea bag, compostable environment.
Yeah, so no mass.
Yeah, no
so
mass.
It's great.
It's nice and easy on that. So that's great for that machine. So then we go up to the Temp Pro. Slightly larger tank. I see it go from 41 fluid ounces to 61 fluid ounces.
Right.
Let's talk about the Temp.
So obviously more powerful. You're going up to a thermocoil heating system. Then it's the same thing. It's on or off for volume of water.
Yeah.
It will heat up in under 30 seconds.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
So nice and quick, a little aesthetically a little bit nicer.
Right. Again, no grinder on board, so you would have to invest in a grinder. One that you can adjust them in just to get the perfect pour for you with your bean.
And what's the price points on this one?
That was around $350.
Now again, Canadian. This is early 2020 pricing. We don't like putting pricing up because we know it changes and around the world.
Right.
These are called Sage in other parts of the world. They might be cheaper there. We don't know, but this is Canada. And again, the prices can go up and down throughout the years. But to give you a general idea on price points, you might have to do that Google conversion thing if you want to find out what that is in your dollars. But anyway, from the Temp, we then take the step up to the Infuser, which is kind of a machine I don't quite get when you have the Barista Express.
Right. So again, if you have a grinder already, or you want a smaller footprint so it can slide underneath the counter and you're worried about height, it is the same machine as the Barista Express, except for you would have to get a grinder to go with.
Gotcha.
So it would be with the dial on front. I've done the reviews of the Barista Express before. You'll be able to see if you're in the right espresso range, whether you're under or over extracted from looking at the screen.
Sometimes controversial. Some people like having that, some don't. So
we always say go by how it tastes.
Yeah,
if you're unsure.
Okay, so again, nice looking machine. A little step up, a little more programmability on this guy than on the Temp.
Right, but you are going up a few $100s again.
So this one's going to be around the
$650.
$650.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to go to the most popular unit, and this is where things start to sort of change. Barista Express. Then there's Barista Pro, Barista Touch. and then we get into the we're going to get into the dual boiler and the oracles, which are the top of the line. But Barista Express is the most popular selling unit in Canada currently. Yeah. It gets kicked around in price throughout the year. So when we say it's around the $800 price point, I know we sell it right now for $599.
Yes.
It does sit around that, depending on where you are, from the kind of $599 to $800 price point in 2020. That's what we're expecting.
Right.
The most popular machine. Let's talk about why. You have this one at home.
I do.
So
I love
you're
the
the expert on this.
You know, out of the box, we were able to get amazing espresso, Americanos, cappuccinos, lattes. Like the other machines we just talked about, you have to do a little bit of work to get the milk. You know, practice a little bit with some water and soap, but it does a fabulous job. It's programmable, nothing like fresh ground beans falling right into the portafilter.
Yeah.
And it's giving you whether or not you're in the range, and the manual tells you exactly what to do if you're under or over extracted. We've never had a problem. I've been using this solid for 3.5 years, never had an issue with it. It's been amazing, and it's hot. It is, you know, a lot of people come in and say, I just want my coffee to be hot.
Yeah,
this one is a hot little machine.
Portafilters get a little bit better the higher
they
up,
do, yeah.
The higher up you go.
Right.
You also have, I mean, like the freshly grind. Tanks at the back are always sometimes a challenge for these machines, but we have a review on this that we can put a link on
yes.
to,
yes.
that you can find a little bit more about this machine. So the one thing is that the milk one, this is where the next three machines, so again, there's the Express, and then the Pro and the Touch are kind of, you can kind of see they're almost the same size. They've got the grinder on the top, but this is where the fundamental differences happen. And the Pro and the Touch are about a year old or so. So let's talk about where they are, and we'll talk about the milk as well.
Right, the Touch came in to us before the Barista Pro, so this one sits in the middle price point wise. They all have the exact same footprint on your counter. So this one is a thermojet thermocoil, and that may sound like a lot, but what happens is as soon as you turn it on, it's 3 seconds. If you want to go back and forth between making coffee to your milk and then back again, it's almost, you don't even notice it. It heats up and it's back and forth so fast. It's an amazing little machine.
It works very fast.
It does.
Digital controls.
Right.
It's a little more precise.
You can program the length of your shots all the way down, the ones that do have the built-in programming, and everything is on the front. If you go into menu, you could just flick through, everything lights up. It has the little digital screen, but what it takes away is to tell you whether you're in the espresso range. You really have to look at your espresso and your pour on this machine and taste it.
Now, would you say from your own experience that, and granted you've had the Express longer, would you upgrade to the Pro?
I did. I have both.
Did you win one?
I did. I wanted it because, so I did.
We had a Christmas party. I forgot Wendy won.
Right.
Well, I was going to win it, but Wendy would win the Barista Pro. So you tell me then, what is the...
Yes. So again, out of the box, I have absolutely had no issues with this machine. Okay. So it's exact volumetric programming. The grinder.
Have one in your garage now, and like an upstairs and down.
Yeah. No. So it's the stepping is not. It's more precise. You can dial it in. So when you're changing the grinder, you'll notice it's not going to click. It's kind of like more like surf. So it's more integrated grinding. Okay. So you kind of get in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So and the amount that the froth you can get off this thing.
So let's talk froth then between Barista Express and Barista Pro, because they're two different frothing.
Absolutely. This one, no problems in getting nice microfoam.
I mean, you can even see the tips are different on the end.
It is. You've got more holes, Barista style quality to get that steam out.
Faster, ready to go.
It's really
a couple $100 more.
It's over $1,000. So it depends on where,
depending on
whether it's on sale or not. So it's over $1,000, like $1,100 for this machine.
Yeah. Regular price, Canadian.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and so volumetric programming, it'll show you counting down in seconds as you're doing your shot, but it is based on volume.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then when you go to the Touch, you basically get very cool frothing for guys like me that are terrible at it, but you also get a touch screen.
Right.
Let's talk about the Touch then.
So the Touch, can take all your headaches away from you if you don't want to practice frothing milk.
So let's actually do a shot.
Right.
And we'll do the milk and we'll kind of show how easy the Touch is.
Right.
Because this frother is really cool. You can see if you look down here, this guy here, a little sensor, and we'll talk about that in a second. So we're going to do a shot. The screen itself is a touch screen where you can slide over and you can name your drinks. And it's all basically touchscreen, so it's
It
sort
is.
of basically 2020's version of the Barista Express.
Yeah, if you're used to flicking through screens, this is your
very
machine.
nice for your counter. So we're gonna grind.
So, I'll wait till it finishes grinding, so,
But completely programmable in this as well.
right. So there is a button with this one, so if you don't have your volume correct, you can just hit it and it'll give you a little bit more if it's not set up properly.
Yeah, we do have people come into our location and play with grinders.
Play with the grinders,
You can play
yeah.
with our machines, so
Yes.
we've come in sometimes and tried to pull a shot, and all of a sudden the grinder's been adjusted, or somebody's adjusted a volume.
Yeah, there is
and
another
playing
one
with it.
in here that it's turned all the way off, I noticed
so
earlier. So
you'll find that, and again, that's one of the things we do in our stores is you can come in and play with the machines.
So I also forgot to mention that all of the tampers are tucked away.
Yeah.
So in this
from the
one,
Express
it tucks
up
in here.
magnetically. Yeah, up here as well, I suppose. How about up there?
Da, 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 da. Going away getting this. So.
All right.
So it's going to count you down in the pre-infusion, which you can adjust, which means it's just, it's not pressurized, it's just gonna soak the beans a little bit, so when the pressure starts, it gives you a nice even extraction.
Running a little fast.
Yeah, a little bit fast.
You see how quick that was, though,
Yes.
for someone that's looking to make a shot.
Right.
And then we've got some milk ready to go, and we're gonna kind of talk about the milk in this system.
It's a little bit long as well, but so, all right, so now we're gonna froth the milk. So what you do with this one is you sit it on the sensor.
Yeah.
Oh, that says DeLonghi. I guess that's not very good.
We're using the DeLonghi
Whoops,
frother
sorry.
on the Breville, which we do
Yeah.
sell as well.
So as long as the pitcher is sitting on the sensor, it's going to heat, because I've chosen a latte, 150 degrees and froth level 5.
So the cool thing about this is you just like leave it.
That's it. Yeah. It's amazing, actually.
So Breville has been, for a long time, they've been looking to make the cafe experience at home easier. And I think, they had this very successful Barista Express, but, people that are relatively new or lazy, like me, don't want to do the work. They actually came with a really cool machine which gives you a portafilter, grinds your coffee bean, and then takes the headache out of the milk. Because it does everything for you, and you can kind of see at the end what happens.
Right.
And this would be available on the Touch as well as on the Oracle series at this point.
Yes.
And there is the Bambino as well, which we have.
Right.
Bambino, I actually don't know how long it's going to be around, to be honest with you. When we talk quickly about it, it's a smaller unit.
It is a smaller unit, and I found it to be a little bit fussy with the grind. So you have to have a particular grinder so you can get micro adjustments to get your tamp and your pour correct.
Yeah.
But it is a really small footprint though, but it is expensive.
We almost
I
done
think,
the front.
yeah. So that feels hot enough to me. It's set at 150 degrees. It will shut off.
It'll shut off by itself.
Yeah.
So you can actually just walk away from it.
Normally when I'm making it, says it's done
Actually
now.
says
Yeah,
frosting,
yep.
Okay.
Place jug on sensor.
All
There we
right.
go. Just I touched it. So it's doing the automatic purging. I don't know if you can see that. So that keeps your needle clean. See the 3 holes? You can see it purging out of there. So,
Yeah, you may want to wipe that down with a rag as well.
Yeah.
Get the milk off there. It's a
so
little-
this is a latte. It's not.
that's not pretty-
So I did a lot of milk.
not bad milk. It's a lot of milk. but
So
it
it's
turned out really nice.
whoop.
You're allowed to spill. This is live. YouTube live. Go with that. Okay. So, but the neat thing about, if you're going to go in that range from Barista Express and you're looking Express or the Pro or the Touch, really, if you're doing a lot of milk beverages, you want to make it easy.
Right.
Probably want to go to the Touch. If you want professional milk, a little more manual, you would even want to go with the Pro.
Right.
Or the Barista Express price point might be.
This one it does heat your milk up really fast with the thermojet.
nice, okay.
It's nice.
So next we're going to go up to the dual boiler, and you'll notice even when you get to this size, you want to be a little more concerned about your upper cabinets on most kitchens,
Right.
because you might have some height issues with some of these guys, particularly if you get something, well, this is the Oracle, but you get something with the grinder. The neat thing when you get into the more expensive line or the upper end line for Breville is that it's front loading tanks, which is nice. They load on the front.
Yep.
So dual boiler, the only one that has a dual boiler, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, until you get to the Oracle, this is the dual boiler is good.
It's called the dual boiler. And why do we want a dual boiler?
So if you love your milk-based drinks, you can actually brew your coffee and do your milk at the exact same time and then incorporate them all together. So you'd be able to do multiple drinks and without having to wait with traditional espresso makers to be going back and forth with the thermoblock heater. It's really fast.
Nice and straightforward.
It is nice and straightforward. And these machines are heavy, and this is the same across this and the Oracles. What they've done, which is great, is if they've put a wheel in here. So you unlock it, you can move it forward and backwards.
Oh, very cool. So you can slide it out from underneath the upper cabinet.
That one might be a reason to do it, but they also have their full tank at the back. So you can pull that out. If you're wheeling it forward and you want to spin around, you can fill it at the back or fill it from the top.
Okay.
Yes, programmable. Again, we're back to the bars of pressure, so you can see if you're in the espresso range.
It's been out a little bit longer than the sort of the Touch and the Pro. It used to go, Express and pretty much dual boiler.
Right.
And that's why it still exists. Still a popular unit for those that want that. And they, the upgraded versions we'll talk about in a second and where they go. But great machine, again, for if you're doing a lot of milk-based drinks, $1,500 to $2,000 price point, depending on where you are. $1,700, $1,500 on sale, depending where you are. Canadian, but a pretty solid unit that Breville's had in the market.
It is, again, the magnetic tamper and also the dial here for your Americanos.
The 58 millimeter.
58, yay!
Portafilter.
Yes.
Which starts in this series.
It does.
Okay.
More consistent with going to a cafe.
Yeah,
the taste,
kind of where they're at as well. Okay, so we'll go next to the Oracle and the Oracle Touch. And they've got some pretty cool features on them that
it does.
I love the machines, and I say they're for that person that wants a really nice statement on their counter, and wants to have that portafilter experience with espresso. Doesn't want to be a super automatic like I like.
Right.
And have that experience, but doesn't actually need to do anything. It literally does everything for you. They call it the first, automatic manual machine in the market?
Yes.
Pretty innovative, and there's two versions. There's the Oracle, and then the Oracle Touch.
Which is a lot like this
little
little
like
machine.
We were talking about the Pro and the Touch for the Barista series. So let's talk about what they do and why you like them, and then we can maybe pull a shot on the Oracle Touch.
Yes, absolutely. So what's fabulous, again, is the thermometer is at the bottom here. Instead of having to have it sit, your cup there, you can put a bigger cup in. And as soon as you dial it down and hit the button, whether you want automatic or you want it to do it for you, it's going to take the type of froth milk that you'd like at the select temperature you'd like and do it for you and then shut off when it's done. It's going to read it.
Automatic.
Yeah, it is. Or manual if you choose.
Gotcha.
So you can lift it straight up and...
You want to do some manual latte art and upgrade your skills, you can, but it will also do everything for you. And these guys both grind for you.
They grind and tamp.
They grind and tamp, which is cool. So
a lot less mess.
Yeah, and tamping, a barista would tell you got to be really careful with your tamping to make sure there's not holes and crevices
espresso is always so the water through the espresso puck is always going to take the path of least resistance, and that takes that out of the equation for you.
So this sort of does it for you. So watch me show you how it's done. We're going to do it on the Touch, and really the big differences are the touchscreen.
Right.
That's kind of it. You can name your drinks. It's colorful. It's very cool looking.
Right.
And we just take the portafilter.
Let's
see if I can do this right. And you'll notice I'm going to come here and click it.
Yes, you click and so you want to choose your drink?
Oh, choose my drink. So let's do cappuccino. Sorry, got to do that first.
Yeah, so it knows what beans, how many grinds to put out, depending on the depth of the portafilter that's in there.
And it's also programmable as well, so if you have your favorites,
yes,
you can have them in there. So I'm going to let you do the rest. So it's now tamping.
So you can hear it, yeah.
It's now tamping.
And it's going to be beautiful and polished.
Okay, so
as soon as you unlock it, So I don't know if you want to see. It's
pretty neat for a machine to do that for you. Okay. So I know we're reaching over. Let's even lock that in there and get that done.
We'll just do that.
We're going to throw this into a cappuccino. Lock.
So you hit brew? Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So we've ground, we've tamped, portafilter's in, hit brew.
Right.
Again, all programmable. I don't know what this is programmed to, so we might end up with we'll end up with some sort of shot. We'll see how
So
it
you
is.
notice right now it did the pre-infusion,
Yep.
and then you can watch to see when it starts to pour, and if you didn't like what it was doing, you'd have to adjust your grind from there.
Yeah.
It's very bean dependent. It is.
Yeah, that's not a great pour.
No,
But hey,
that's all right.
next one. It can do a great pour. We're not too fussy in showing
Bing.
you what it can do. Ding. Okay. So we're done there. So yeah, that's
You can just leave it there for a while.
crumb is kind of awful though. But anyway, let's pop it in. You get the point. And then we're gonna
Hit milk.
Just
Right.
hit milk.
Yeah. That's it. So it's going to heat up to whatever temperature you set it at, and the amount of bubbles has settings. So
of
right
bubbles.
now it's set to bubble level 8.
Bubble level 8.
Yeah, it's for cappuccino.
Say Bubbles angry. You can't say Bubbles and be angry.
That's right.
If you're ever
It's not an anger.
in a debate, will not call it argument with your spouse or coworker, just say Bubbles.
Bubbles. Ostrich.
Yeah, it's the way to get out of it. At least I'm gonna try that. I don't know if it's gonna work.
See what's happening here?
Yeah, we got some froth going.
I'm so used to doing it to touch it. Kind of leaving it up to a machine, it freaks me out.
See, I can't do it to save my life, so I like having machines do it.
Yeah.
It kind of works. So at the end of the day, with Breville, you really get the full range of coffee machines, espresso machines.
Should be
sorry.
shutting
They
off.
have coffee machines too, but espresso machines from entry level right up to super automatic manual.
Ding.
Ding, ding. Does
Fries are
everything.
done.
And
Okay.
I'll bring this over here so you can pour.
So it's going to automatically purge again. Ding. So you hear that makes lovely.
That's kind of cool. Purging right here. Same.
Which you want it to do, because the last thing you want is for it to, yeah, no. I'm not a latte art. See, look. Constellation.
It's a Milky Way of some sort. I don't know. You know, when you look at ink dots, you're supposed to know what they are. Anyway, again, this is the Breville lineup 2020, guys. If you have questions, actually, you know what we're going to do before we talk about that? I'm going to show you some really cool things that are coming this year. They've started showing up already. It is February, early February.
It is.
But Breville has started just late last year launching some colors. So I'm going to show you very quickly a couple of things over here, which kind of turn over. And not in every model, and I honestly can't remember which ones they're in, but we've got matte black available. We need Wendy over here because you get the microphone. Okay. So we have matte black. We have matte black available. We also have a smoked hickory.
Yes.
It's called smoked hickory, and they call this sea salt.
Yes, white.
So if you have like a really white kitchen or something, and there's a blue coming as well. And do we have?
It's like a very dark blue.
Yeah, it's like a dark blue that is coming in that range in some of the machines, certain models. So, we really like the fact that Breville is thinking differently for the kitchen, because we know that the kitchen is the home and it's the center of the home, and that's really where you want to get, make a statement, and they make really nice statement pieces. You will also see. And I'm going to get Jack to kind of swing back, because we have the Bambino over here. We talked briefly about it.
Yes, we did.
Not my favorite machine. I personally don't think it's going to be around much longer, because you need a grinder. The price point's relatively high.
But again, it has a hands-free milk texturing and heating.
So maybe if you have a condo, and
Yes.
you have a grinder as well. Some reason you would do that. This is a neat machine. I don't know why. It's more space. Why not buy a bigger machine? But this is the Bambino. Again, not my favorite, but we do sell it. It doesn't a cup of coffee, but I think a great cup of coffee or espresso. But I think you'd be better off in the barista myself.
Yes,
So,
with the built-in grinder,
exactly.
for
So
sure.
anyway, end of the day, guys. If you have questions or comments, please ask down below. If you like us and are crazy and sometimes good and sometimes terrible espresso, please subscribe to our page. Thank you. We're a local Canadian company, been in business 22 years. We value every interaction we have with our customers. And if you are in the Burlington, Ontario area or Ancaster, we do have 2 locations. You can pop in, and you can also shop online. So until next time, cheers.
See you. Bye-bye.